Hi, everybody. Welcome to No Doctor, Just Healthy. Like I always say, I'm no doctor, I'm just healthy. But I have I have great health. I had to write it down there because it doesn't hurt to give yourself a positive affirmation every once in a while. And I was just writing down some notes too about various things, and um, I want to do a scheduled bunch of uh, mostly supplement coverage. But like one thing is I know my diet works. I have a special eating arrangement that I do, but I was cheating this winter, and I put on about 30 pounds, and uh, some of you probably noticed that in the last videos that I did. There were the videos that I called them all some kind of something related to vitamin D because I was in Florida. And in Michigan, we have a very nice day today, but that's not usually the way our vitamin D is covered here. It's usually kind of gray. But I gotta mention that I was at my doctor just before I went to Florida. And he said to me that my blood test was outstanding. He said words like that, outstanding. He said to me, he said, if somebody was to have looked at my blood test results sitting on a table, and then somebody said to him, hey, pick out whose blood test that is in this room. He said he would never pick me. He would have looked for a healthy 22-year-old because my blood test is correct. And for me to say that is pretty good because I used to be type 2 diabetic. I am not anymore. Matter of fact, my A1C popped up as 5.2, which I thought was a little bit high. It turns out that's the correct number that the medical people want to see. That's a 5.2 is the best level. Well, that was me after I'd been cheating because normally my A1C is in the fours, 4.9, kind of things like that. And I mean, I don't spend a lot of time with that because it's, it's cool, but that's 3 months of however we're living. And anyway, since I've been home now, it's only been a couple of weeks, I've lost 15 pounds already. And I'm going to lose 15 more. And that's all I'm going to lose because when you get older, a lot of us older folks like to lose muscle. It's really easy for us to lose muscle. Now, I don't know if that's because we're just not doing stuff like we used to, or if it's something metabolic. I guess I should try to figure that out. But I do things like I walk a lot, I ride my electric unicycle a lot, I continuously move. Even when I'm home watching TV, which I kind of like to do, when a commercial comes on, I'll generally stand up and lift dumbbells, like that, just for during the commercial, just for a minute. Makes my shoulders happy. My shoulders don't hurt when I do that. And another thing that I do is I have a 1970s model gymnasium stepping machine. So it's not high tech at all, but it works. It still works. And so it's right at the end of my sofa. So I can get up and I can stand on that thing and I just walk for a bit. And if I want to pump up a little bit, I take full, complete, long strides on it. And that really gets my heart going. But I do that during commercials instead of sitting there like a lump building blood clots because I don't like the idea of that. Or I'm keeping my heart working because a lot of heart failure is from hearts giving up. And I do a lot of stuff. And I guess these are some thoughts that were on my mind. The application of knowledge is what? It is, if we're talking about health, it's probably good health. If we're and that's what I generally try to talk about. So I try to get people to look stuff up on the internet. And, I mean, you can go to libraries, still have books, you can read about something. Matter of fact, there's a book called Metabolical. It's, I'm not gonna remember the guy's name, he's kind of odd to listen to, but because he's got super brains full of information. And Ludwig, I think, maybe? Anyways, he's a biology researcher or something like that. Don't hold it against me if I'm wrong, please, but that's kind of the area that's in it. But he wrote the hardest book I've ever tried to read, other than the Bible. But he wrote the book called Metabolical. And the way that he added the bolical in there, I kind of, he's not happy with the medical profession. I love that when doctors aren't, when they go, oh geez, like one doctor says he's been doing heart stents and different heart things for years. Matter of fact, I think he was one of the earliest heart transplant doctors. Anyways, he finally quit, and now he's on the internet a lot. And I'm thinking, gosh, his internet might pay off really good. I'm not monetized at all, so don't, we're not paying for nothing here. This is all free stuff. But I'm glad to be here. And anyways, this guy wrote Ludwig, I think. Gosh, I'm sorry if I'm wrong. Don't let me mislead you, but the name of the book is Metabolical. It is great, and I got it from the library because I wasn't going to pay that much money for a book, but it's a great book, and it's very hard to read. So if you're looking for a mental challenge, which is good for people who have problems with older age and memory, and like you can tell, I have some delays in what I'm thinking about, so I do that. But I'm so much better than I was a few weeks ago or a few years ago, and it's just better at a time. But supplements and vitamins and minerals, all that stuff. It turns out that my brain came to life. It was really messed up about 7 years ago, even 6 or 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. I found myself lost in my own apartment. I was standing in my own kitchen, and I was looking around, and I was getting terrified. I was really getting frightened because I thought I was in somebody else's house, and I didn't want them to come out of the bedroom and shoot me. So I hollered out, "Is anybody there? Is anybody there?" And nobody came out. So I walked out of the kitchen, started looking around, and then it came back to me that I was home. I wasn't in somebody else's house at all. And that scared me so much that I started doing some of this stuff about researching things on the internet, because you know what my doctor told me? She said, "Oh, you're getting older. That happens to older people. You're going to have to get used to those changes, like the aching joints and stuff." And I didn't want to hear that. So I decided I had to go look up knowledge because she didn't seem to know. Anyways, I found a thing in there, and I spend hours on this. I mean, I don't expect a 5-minute cure. I spend hours on this stuff, and I bought this one item that comes from MIT invented it, and they got the patent on it, and it's talking about how they can get a mineral past the blood-brain barrier into your head, and it turns out that mineral goes away as we get older, A lot of people. Some people, some manage to hold on to it somehow, but I don't know what that's from. But a lot of people start losing that mineral, and the dementia starts to show up. Or is it Alzheimer's? I don't know which is the proper word, but you know what I'm saying. It's the you can't remember anything, and then when you look at your grandkid, you can't say their name, and you can't look, you can't find your keys. And like myself, I even quit driving because I was afraid of driving. I was afraid of driving. And I'm back driving again. I got in the car and I drive the daylights out of it. I love it. It's so nice. It's like being excited. It'd be like being 16 again. I got my license. You know, it's like, I'm really happy about that. I've been driving over a year now and haven't had any problems. I've missed some deer out here in the country, which gives me an idea that I am really aware. So I'm really happy about that. But these things, it's hard. These are so hard to deal with. Like for instance, I take vitamin D because I live in Michigan. And I don't run around outside without my shirt on very much. And you know, even people that are living like sunny places down closer to the equator, they're low on vitamin D often. And if you look up vitamin D, look up vitamin D deficiency, and see how that affects you, your person. But anyways, when I had my blood test, that was so good, the doctor said to me, he says, you know, this is the highest vitamin D level I've ever seen in a patient. And now, true, he's a new doctor, but it's the highest one he's ever seen. You know, so maybe after he's seen 5,000 patients, maybe he'll see something else. But right now, I think he's level, you know, he's down around maybe 1,000 patients. I don't know even, I don't even know how that works. But I'm saying is, if he's been in the, I can't tell how long he's been in the business, but I sure like him because he still likes being a doctor. And he listens to me when I talk to him about the way I eat and stuff. He goes, that's great. He says, I don't understand why, you know, he says, I don't understand how that's working, you know. I says, well, the question was about saturated fat. And saturated fat, like, is in red meat. Red meat. But it's not the saturated fat that's a problem. It turns into a problem if you add sugar to it. You know, it doesn't have to be on the meat. It's like the dressing in the salad that you ate before dinner. That's got the sugar already cooking. It might be breading on the meat. It might be those pieces of freshly cooked bread in the basket that they brought to you that is so delicious that you slap on their restaurant butter, which isn't from grass-fed cows. And all that stuff is starting to add up on you. The way the restaurant cooks the food in vegetable oils that are recycled and overused, that stuff is dangerous, and that's the knowledge stuff we need to find out. Find out about vegetable oils, and find out cooking oils that are healthy for you. Just look up healthy cooking oils, you know, on the internet. Look up vegetable oils that are side effects of long-term vegetable oil use. And the thing, sometimes people will say, well, they don't work. You know, supplements don't work. And I say, well, look at that as a benefit. Because if nothing's happening from them, it might mean that you're not deficient in them. If you're deficient in a supplement, it'll definitely work. It's just that it has to be an honest supplement. Like I wouldn't buy it someplace like a grocery store or some warehouse, big warehouse place. I usually try to look at the bottles and find the manufacturer on there or their .com channel and call the .com or contact the .com company and order my stuff from them, because I just feel like it's probably been sitting less. Where these other things in stores and warehouses, they're what temperature is around them. They're not seriously active with temperature. It doesn't necessarily ruin everything, but gosh, one thing could be at the top of the rack at 100 degrees, and one thing could be at the floor at 75. So, it's just, who knows? Who knows? So I try to get it from the manufacturer, and that way, at least they have to think a little bit about their food or their vitamins. But I take a few vitamins, and I like them, and I take one that I don't recommend any hardly ever, but if you're having old age trouble, like you're really starting to feel old, you're over 60 and you're deteriorating, and you can't get, it's not as nice to go up the stairs, it's all those memory things and all those executive functions that your brain can't do anymore, like scramble, pay all the bills. They got it all on the table and you're trying to pay all the bills and you can't quite keep track of what you're doing. You put the check in the wrong envelope for a different payment, and you're getting mixed up, and all that kind of stuff counts. And that's all, I hate to say it's like age. It's just that as age happens, it gets harder to convert everything that we eat to positive things, and you need to read about it to know about it. And because I'm not gonna tell people exactly how to do things. For instance, salmon has great quality for us. The omega-3 in salmon is very good, but it's also on other things. I forget how many other things, but it's also in a lot of other foods. And anyways, I found an omega-3, instead of salmon, I found one that comes from tuna. And the difference is that the balance of the EPA and the DHA, the chemicals that are in the omega-3s, they're reversed in the tuna, to where they have more than double the brain help than salmon does. So it costs more, and it works. I'm enjoying it, but life is better than it was, and I'm losing this weight, and I started a fast today, and I don't mean to go a long time. I might go 3 days, but that's not going to be any food except coffee and apple cider vinegar, and I'm probably going to be 15 pounds less the next video, but it's good to be here, and I hope that there was some things, I'm not winded, I don't tire out, I take off for a fast walk around the block, and my heart rate doesn't even get pumped up. A block for me is about a mile, and all this stuff is great. And let's see, what was I thinking about too? I was thinking, like some really bad mood troubles and stuff. When you read about all this, start noticing what they're saying about the B complexes, vitamin B's. And just look at that stuff. And if you're worried about your heart, think about that too. You know, just see it all in there, and the vitamin B's. But there's so many things. And I get a kick out of the online doctors that are speaking up for certain mixes of vitamins for the best bone health in the world and all that kind of stuff. I am don't go for the quick fix. I think, you know, like some of this stuff might work. I don't know because I don't take it, because everything is a supplement at a time. Like I take type 2 collagen, especially because I have some cartilage shrinkage, had some. My back used to be so loose that it was scary. I used to feel like I was going to crack over in the middle. Is zero of that anymore. And I have built my cartilage back up, but it's taken 3 years, and it's affecting in my knees. And oh, this was a great one. I'm going to save it. If you have a question, please comment, and please say, give me a target, something I can zero in on. And I want to thank you for coming by, and please leave a comment. And you know, I need subscribers, because the more subscribers I get, the more times I pop up on the videos and stuff. So thanks for being here.